BDR migrates any HL7 data directly into Big Data Repositories. This becomes really useful to get by the second, by the minute results that are important to patients as much as it's important to marketing people. Use our graphical interface, which I'm going to show you now for Big Data Repositories, and we're hoping soon at the end of the month or a few extra weeks to be able to migrate all this HL7 JSON format that we're converting raw HL7 into JSON, and then get that into FHIR JSON into FHIR servers. Our processes will be scalable, low latency, accurate set of microservices that will reduce months, if not longer, of efforts to just minutes and hours. So we are going to go take a look at this now. Now let's move on with the demo. So first, what I want to show is the file system. So in the file system here, we're going to look at we're going to be taking in HL7 Raw data. That could be put into a C directory, a server directory. Now let's move on to the demo. Here what I want to show is we're going to be working with raw HL7 data that was taken into HDFS. It could be taken into a C drive, file directories, S3, several other locations to then be processed. So here we're going to look real quick just to verify what's in this data. So here we can see, as we open up this data, we have decrypted raw HL7 messages and transactions. So what we're going to first do is we're going to go into the HL7 processing jobs. We're going to convert the jobs into an HL7 JSON and then move it to one of several locations. The locations that we will have available by the end of the week are going to be, well, and you'll see a lot of them today, is Snowflake, S3, Redshift, Postgre, MongoDB, and others. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to take in HL7 raw data from HDFS, and here we have the HDFS data we selected. We're going to write this to Snowflake. We're going to use an existing warehouse that we already configured, and we have these pre-configured in the administration. So I will take today's date, 10/13, so we'll do HL7 10/13 is our Snowflake output table. We'll test our connection. Our connection's fine. We're not going to save that, and we're going to run our process. So right now we are taking that information. So we are going to go over into our connection in Snowflake, and we'll refresh and wait. As we can see, we've run other user runs earlier, and I can even just preview some of that data to show you. Same example I ran earlier, but we're running a fresh one. And as you can see, it's now in a JSON format, and the data is encrypted. Everything we do is end-to-end encryption. We can even encrypt the HDFS input raw data or whatever directory it's in, and that's something that and we suggest that should be done. So let's refresh again. So now here we see HL7 Snowflake with the date that I picked. And we will open up, preview that data, and as we can see, just like the others, we now have it in a JSON format, and it is securely encrypted. Now let's go in and run another process. So here we're gonna convert, and I just want to show it first. So let's go look at the S3 directory, which we can do from the Big Data Revealed app. And if we go look at the file content, we're going against the AWS server now versus the virtual machine, and we can see that we have raw HL7 data. Now HL7 process, and we're going to go run and convert, but this time we're going to source the S3 HL7 data. And we're going to select that, and we're going to write that to Snowflake also, and we'll go into the existing warehouse, and here we'll call this HL7 S3 to Snowflake 5, and we'll test our Snowflake connection. It's fine. We're not going to save our passwords, and we're going to run this process. So now we're going to come back over and patiently wait. That's not too patient of me. I'm already refreshing, but we're going to wait until we see that we took the S3 and wrote the S3 information, HL7 segments transactions, and here we have them, and they're encrypted, and they're in Snowflake. So there again, we took the S3 input, which could also be an output. So again, there it is in a JSON format, and there it is in its encrypted format. So what we're offering is a much quicker means to be able to take HL7 raw data from server directories, HDFS, where most anywhere they're going to be stored, put them into a JSON format, and then write them to S3, Redshift, PostgreSQL, which we also have a BDR PostgreSQL warehouse. You can be able to write it to Snowflake, MongoDB, BigQuery, which I'll be showing in a minute. We can, upon request, do SQL Server, Oracle, pretty much anywhere where you can store JSON data, we'll be able to do those conversions. This is the predecessor and the step that's necessary for Big Data Reveal feels we're going to be the first to then be able to work with this data, which we have in the past, but we're working on algorithms and ways and mapping to be able to take this new JSON format of HL7, get it into a FHIR format of HL7, and get it ingested into FHIR, all 37,000, almost 400 columns, and have that automated. So instead of taking weeks, months, or years to get all that mapping done, we're looking to have that automated and have a version of that out within the next month or so. So I thank you for looking at this portion. I am now going to go and turn on the Google BigQuery server and demonstrate us working and writing to BigQuery in Google. So I will be back here shortly. Thank you. Okay, now that we're in the Google Cloud platform, we're looking at the HL7 input of the raw data, and we're going to then write this to BigQuery. So here we're going to go in and do the convert. Here we're looking at only one file in the BigQuery repository. We are now going to take an HDFS FHIR raw HL7 input. We're going to write it into BigQuery. It's all pre-established by the administrator. We're going in and establishing our connection. We're going to give it a name, HL7 convert. We're now running the process that's going to take the HDFS raw HL7, write it to BigQuery, and it's also going to JSONize it, and it's going to encrypt that data. Now with the process completed, we will go into BigQuery, we'll refresh it, and we'll see that there'll be a second table inside the schema, and that will be the table that we just created, and that'll be a new JSON version. There it is. So we are going to open up that table, and there we see we have the JSON. We have it encrypted, and it's sitting in BigQuery, and now can be used by analysts. Once again, I thank you for your time to view this demo. And in closing, I just want to mention that soon BDR-FIR will deliver primary FHIR Resources fields, extensions, and HL7 Z User Types directly into FHIR Servers. BDR-FIR already provides secure patient downloads with end-to-end encryption, migration to big data from FHIR. Here you saw it from HL7 JSON. Everything will be, again, end-to-end encryption, and the ability to take familiar names from EHR systems, EMR systems that now differ in the FHIR terminology, and add metadata so it shows up with the names that you're used to seeing. Again, everything you saw is going to quicken up your ability to deal with hospitals, to deal with patients, to deal with providers, healthcare, pharmacies, and have analysts, data scientists, and people derive very important information to be able to help and aid people in the healthcare industry and for the patients, as well as gather a lot of value information that with consented data to be able to help in your marketing efforts dealing with these results. Again, I thank you. Stay COVID safe and watch for our next video.